I'm Brent Barnett on Brownfield, and I'm at the Iowa Pork Congress in Des Moines. Joining us now is Ben Nuelle with the Iowa Pork Producers Association. Ben, how's it going today, man?
Hey, Brent, just glad to be here. It's another Pork Congress. We're excited to at least see the weather warm up a little bit, since the last few days, but always a great way to catch up with producers as well as other folks attending the show here.
Tell the listeners about some of your work with Iowa Pork and some of the work that you do with the organization.
Yeah, so I handle public policy, so Director of Public Policy for about 3 years now. So anything that relates to what we're doing in the state in terms of watching regulations at DNR, state legislation moving through the legislature, as well as federal legislation. So working a lot with the National Pork Producers Council on what we can do there when it comes to things like the Farm Bill, Proposition 12, and foreign animal disease preparedness.
So let's go to Prop 12 and have a conversation on that. So what's Iowa Pork tracking here with Prop 12 for this year, and what are you hoping kind of transpires?
Yeah, so we're really going to be aggressive in terms of trying to figure out some sort of solution for a congressional fix with Proposition 12. One reason it just is going to be cause chaos and patchwork of regulations across the United States that we tend to start seeing other states do. We just don't want to see that and continue to protect the livelihoods of our producers. So again, really focused on federally talking to folks in Congress about how we can continue to get some sort of legislative fix from that proposition that the California voters passed in 2018.
So are you hoping it would be included in a new farm bill or its own standalone bill?
So I think at this point, we're kind of looking at a variety of different avenues. With the Farm Bill, you have to look at the new administration and kind of what their priorities are in terms of getting all of their appointments done, because as in Washington, D.C., there's a lot of, when you get a new administration, a lot of things that are happening in terms of getting appointments done through USDA, EPA, and all those other agencies. So a lot of times when you look at scheduling, it's like, okay, where are we going to go here in terms of, are we going to see a Farm Bill this year? Is that going to have to wait till next year? We're still going to be optimistic and trying to get one done here, but that's just going to depend on kind of the congressional calendar. So kind of exploring those opportunities, I guess, if you will, or avenues with NPPC and seeing what we can get accomplished there.
And I think it's important to specify it's Proposition 12 law now since it's already in effect. And you might just remind listeners how exactly this impacts pig farmers and the pork industry.
Yeah, so with those restrictions, because there's not a lot of pigs in California, we do sell roughly about, I think, 13% pork products going into California. And so when you look at those regulations, Iowa being the number one pig producing state, that's going to affect our producers in terms of products they want to sell into that state. And so we're always concerned about how we can continue to just make sure our producers are protected from overburdensome regulations, and how they can continue their livelihoods.
What are you hearing from the delegation in Iowa as far as, is there any momentum regarding a Prop 12 fix? What's that look like?
And so you look at last year, we were looking at, obviously we were appreciative, both the House Farm Bill did include a legislative text to address the issue of Prop 12. Senator John Bozeman had had text in his framework that he had proposed as well. You're looking at a whole new Congress, obviously, with the president, House and Senate all being of one party. So is there any momentum there? We'll continue to have those conversations with the Iowa delegation, but do again appreciate their help the last several years and continuing to keep this and hopefully keeping this a top priority as we go into this legislative session here this year.
As we kind of wind down here, Ben, at the state level, the legislative session is underway. What's Iowa Pork tracking at the State House this year?
So one of our top priorities at the State House here, as we've done in the last several years, is continuing to support the Secretary Mike Naig's appropriations request for foreign animal disease preparedness. And so he'll be again requesting money through the appropriations process as we go through here this legislative session. And as you know, as well as your reporting, and just foreign animal disease with African swine fever, other sorts of diseases, continuing to make sure the pig herd is protected will be our top priority. And that not only falls under what we're doing at the federal level, but how can the state have the how can the state have the resources necessary that they need to continue to keep our producers protected from any sort of outbreak.
Thanks a lot for the updates here, and hope you have a good Congress, okay?
Thanks, Brent.
Ben Nuelle here with us at the Iowa Pork Congress in Des Moines, and I'm Brent Barnett on Brownfield reporting for Agri America.